Does somebody want to make a motion?
I don't think we need.
Jack's.
We're just guiding him. He'll take action
Okay.
consistent with the discussion in closed
Okay.
section.
We don't need to make a motion or anything like that? Okay. All right.
Jack, we did just approve a draft version, well, not final approval, but move forward with a draft version of a wellness health insurance premium differential policy, wellness participation. We'll send that over to you and hoping to give final consideration at our next meeting in 2 weeks.
Okay, sure.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome. Have a good day, folks.
Yeah, you too. All right, it is past 9:30. Jail remodel update, review approved changes. Review approved February 1, 2026 pay app. John?
Good morning.
You're up.
That's probably going to shop side, right?
We'll be touching over it now. And just get everything handed out that way we can just keep on track here. Pass a couple of them down. Oh, there we go.
It's a big one this time.
Yeah.
Well, at least the weather's warming up a little bit. We got through that cold snap, so. But, just wanted to bring you up to date. We'll talk about, work going on out there right now and then, answer any questions in regards to that. Right now, they have the above ceiling caulking done on the interior precast and working on other interior areas. They're gonna start working on, grouting in the lip holes and such, and finishing on, the interior of the precast. I told them we want the exterior ones grouted also, cause they have rebar in them, I don't want them sweating and running down the wall. They have about 85% of the concrete done or better. They should be finishing up all the concrete floor slabs. By the end of this week or beginning of next week. They've been setting cell doors and running conduits up to the cell blocks. The block, which should be completed, probably tomorrow or Thursday on the west side, so that they can start forming up the mezzanine level, the concrete on top of the cell blocks. I don't want the concrete guys to get off site. So they'll be able to move into there after the floor slabs and start pulling up the mezzanine area of the west side. And then should be able to move right straight over to the east side. Block loaders, we have 9 guys here next week, so I think you'll see quite a bit of masonry block going up. Underground, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, 98% completed. They're working on corridor walkway right now, the connection between the 2 buildings. So That should be forward by the end of, by the beginning of next week also. I guess, did you have questions on what was happening out there?
I would like that tour you offered
Yeah,
after the meeting.
Yeah, I would too.
yeah, no, I'd be glad to take you guys through it. I figured, it'd be nice to take a walk through.
Is this the finished edge of the roofing, or is there?
Oh, no. No, it's all temporary right now.
That's a relief.
Well, yeah. No, that metal flashing that goes over the top of it covers up, makes it look finished, so. Other questions in regards to construction there? Okay. We're gonna go over to change order first. We have one change order, and, this was, for security electronic and detention hardware changes. When we went over the plans, there's a list of items that we went through with the sheriff and stuff to make sure we had card readers and stuff for operational purposes in certain areas. We deleted some things, we added some things, to the security electronics, which is not unusual. Total cost of the changes was $9,560 for the security electronic and detention hardware changes. And it would be our recommendation that we go ahead and approve those changes. Any questions in regards to that?
What is the difference between 8 mogul cylinders and mogul thumb turns?
The thumb turns, we wanted in certain areas, like in the laundry room and stuff, so we could get out of that area. So that
What is that? What's a thumb
a
turn?
mogul cylinder, it's a key cylinder that works the detention lock over the security electronics. But that way you can exit certain areas like the evidence room, armory, and the laundry room were the 3 that I think that we changed. We added a card reader to the laundry room, and we added one to the armory and evidence room for tracking purposes, in those particular areas.
They sound reasonable, but why weren't they designed in?
You can only design so far, and that comes down to how the operations go. Originally, also, we didn't have, all the security electronics in the front because we weren't gonna be doing a lot of that work, but, there were some changes that were made to fit the operations. And we deleted some windows, we did this, we did that. I mean, I have a list of items that, we deleted from, changed in the project, so we were able to get that roof hatch and such done at no cost to the county, and negotiated some of the things out on cost-wise for that. So, right now, with what I'm looking at, we've saved about $107,000, by changing stuff. So we will have some ads, and
VS2, that's on the back page, it says change to narrow length jam opening. Was that a construction error, or that you had to change the width or narrow it up? I'm not sure what that means, but
it was a narrow jam opening, we changed it to a wider jam opening to accommodate an electric lock. Electric locks require an 8-inch jam. And electronic strikes, I just don't like them on the exterior of the buildings because with the heat and cold, they'll fluctuate too much and then they're sticking and stuff all the time. So we upgraded to an electric lock, the detention gauge lock.
But that sounds to me like the door was too small, too big, right?
No. On VS2,
Yeah.
what number are you on?
It's on the last page.
Last page.
Oh.
That's the way I'm looking, maybe I'm wrong, but the way I'm looking at it is the door opening wasn't big enough.
Oh, VS2, that goes into the kitchen area. I increased size of that door so that they could get kitchen equipment and stuff into that door. And increase the width of the door.
It's good.
The change order was an increase.
Yeah. Any questions, comments, stick around?
No.
Do you have anything, any other questions? Do you have anything else, John?
I didn't know if you wanted to approve that for approved pay for a request, Sherry, I guess. Do we have a
What do
motion?
you guys wanna do?
Or you can do them together.
Let's do them separately. You wanna do change order first?
Almost. I would think so, wouldn't you?
I don't think it matters what order, because we're not paying for that yet, right? The change order?
No.
No.
I'll make a motion for approval specific to this change order, the security electronic and detention hardware for $95.60.
I have a motion from Vanderhook. Support from Warren, any more discussion? If not, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. No.
Okay.
But then I would like, well, why are the other change orders identified as February 1st not being addressed separately? And specifically, no offense, Jack, but John, I'm questioning the $63,000 increase to section 2,
Okay.
the on-site allowance.
The other change orders were approved in meetings. What change orders are you talking about?
Line 23 on your notes says 2/1 of 26, line 2/2, on-site allowance is being changed to increase 63,185.
Yeah. So the on-site allowance is an allowance. And originally we had like a 10-month allowance in there because we were just putting the building on the side. And it increased, and I increased that through August as an allowance, which is the current schedule that we submitted. And so that would cover the on-site until August. If we don't use it, then it goes back into contingency.
But the original section 2 estimate was based on the original bid letting projection, which increased substantially. And percentage-wise, this section went up the same amount as the bid brought it up.
It was never increased from the beginning, so. Beginning estimate.
If we go back to the estimates when you had sorry, I don't remember all
It is
that.
an allowance, and
And it was, my recollection is it's a percentage of the construction bid package.
well,
Cause it your section 2 increased when the bids came in higher.
I never increased my fee. You keep bringing that up. Architect increased their fee, I never increased my fee. You keep bringing that
Okay.
up, and I bring it up every time. And I guess I gotta write a letter or wear a sign on my back. I never increased my fee from the beginning. The architect and engineers increased their fees. So nothing's ever been increased in my section, so. All I'm doing is covering you guys by having Kevin on site here, to make sure things are going well. And he'll help with the transition and everything else. He also pulled down the chimney for you, did that work interior for you. So, I mean, he's doing other work, try to help this project out and keep the cost down. So, that's happened also.
I'm not saying I'm not wrong, or I'm not saying I can't be wrong, but just trying to look for original cost estimates and
Why have the architect fees? Why has that changed so much? It's a lot.
We went back through that too. Originally, the existing facility was not included in the project. It was going to be phased in, and then they were directed to do the work in the existing facility also. So that's why those fees, they said they were gonna have additional engineering, their engineering were charging. And my understanding is Rick Widener, the architect, just tried to cover their fees for the engineering portion of the existing facility.
It went up 120,000.
That's correct. I do recall that. But at that time, I didn't increase mine. I left mine the same.
correct, I'm sorry.
I thought we cleared that up last time, but I never increased mine. I represent you guys, so I'm trying to control cost out there, and swapping spit and stuff out there to make things happen, to make it better for you guys, because when the public comes through, you wanna make sure you have a good and complete facility. So we will have some things coming up, and we have to get creative now. Sure. But, bought some stuff, the high density storage systems. We do have other stuff that we probably need to look at or consider at some point in time. Some of the kitchen equipment, we don't wanna drag that stove in there and have a $140,000 range hood in there, so there's certain things we can do, to work with the sheriff and stuff. I am meeting with E911 tomorrow. I did bring them electrical plans that were requested. So there's certain things that we gotta do throughout the project, but I'm trying to save money here and with the contractors on stuff that I see out there that wouldn't necessarily have to happen, but yet take care of stuff that really should happen. Some of that unit up on the roof, when they took that air conditioning unit apart to lift it up, to put the roof on, and they take the Freon out. There's no Freon in there. That thing's 1978. And I think the sheriff can commit that thing probably hasn't worked in, I don't know, a lot of years. I mean, so.
What do you do for like the kitchen equipment and stuff? Or do you bid that out, or you just buy it from a certain place?
I try to assist you guys in buying it, we get a quote from like Rapids Wholesale or somebody like that. I don't wanna pay the contractor an extra 7 or 10% to buy out equipment. So I usually assist in that, and then Kevin and I will assist, in getting it put in place for you, get it put together and everything else, so typically, we try to take care of that and then buy it for you direct. If you put it under contractor, they're gonna charge a
Well,
5%.
that was my point.
Yeah, no, I don't charge a fee on that, but we try to buy that out direct for you guys, to save money.
Any other comments, questions for John? Otherwise, we need to either approve or disapprove the payout.
I'll make a motion that we pay it.
I have a motion to pay the February 1, 2026 pay application.
Yes.
Do I have support?
Support.
Support from Brandy. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Anything else for John?
It doesn't matter, I changed it on here, so you, yep. Will you stop back later? I'll have them do it this morning, you just stop back later and then we
I'm
can.
gonna be here tomorrow.
Oh, okay, so just stop back sometime then.
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
Any other?
$896, $206.80.
Sorry. Okay.
896,206 and 80 cents.
Yes, I just wanted to give you a quick thought,
Yeah, it'll probably be 10:45, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, just give me a buzz and I'll be glad to get you guys through.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you, John.
appreciate it. If you have any questions come up, I am having a E911 meeting tomorrow at 10:30. So with some of the providers, get that started. And if anybody wants to attend, they're welcome to attend. It's gonna be over at the church. Okay?
You ever go to that, Mike? You ever go to that?
Hope not, I've got a doctor's appointment
I don't
tomorrow.
know.
No.
Somebody,
I think Corey was gonna be there.
Yeah, Corey's definitely gonna be there. I guess I forgot to put all of you on the thing, but you're welcome. I just want to let you know you're welcome to attend. But it's mainly gonna be a meeting to get organized, get a list of the people together and start meeting with them, because there's different providers. There's ICN, Windstream, and everybody else, so we just need to get on a path that we're getting done.
Can any of that get paid for through 911?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't have any IT equipment in there as such, or the cabling, because you don't know if you need fiber, you don't know if you need Cat 6E. So it's something that we'll try to negotiate locally and get done. But yeah, it's a matter of just getting the names of all the providers. And I don't think we're gonna have to file, because we're not moving it to a different location, we're moving it within the existing building. But I wanna get together with the state and everything on that also, so.
Okay.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, have a great day. And I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, we can't pay for part of it.
Did you?
I think so. It's, with them, it's amazing what they can pay for and what they can't.
Okay, let's move back up to the top. Discuss review 26, 27 budgets. Is that where we're at?
I haven't made any changes. I did send you guys out and made copies of stuff. This sheet here is what the current levies will be if there's no changes to it. We can go through it like general basic. We're at our max that we can levy is at 3.43137. That's what I have it as. General basic, we upped it to 120,970. That's really the only thing that one we can change. Debt service is the 55 cents, and interest and loan payments 407,000. So, and there's always a fee, so that's why it's 407,600. So that's why we're at the 55 cents. And of course, emergency levy is at 45 cents. And then real basic, we're at the max that we can levy for that is 2.77294 with the increase in value. And then public safety is at 90 cents, and that's without changing the dollar amount from last year. So that's where we're at currently at the current levies. This sheet here is next meeting we'll have to set a proposed date for that, but this is what will be sent out to all the taxpayers. So the first column is where we're currently at. The second column, if we kept our tax dollar asking the same as to what our levies would be. And then the third column from 26-27 is what we have it at currently, or proposing. So really, we went up like 7 cents for countywide and 2 cents, a little over 2 cents for the rural for this coming year. And then down below is comparison, what it would be current year and what we're proposing, what the increase would be per $100,000 roughly evaluation. And then the last column is for commercial. Those last two sections are confusing because that $100,000 evaluation, you got to take a times a rollback to get to this $264. I mean, Joe Blow off the street won't know that. So you can't take 100,000 times those levy rates to come up with that amount. In the same way with commercial, the first 150,000 is residential rollback, then the next 150 is 90. No one, if you didn't work with it, you would not know how to get to those figures, but that's what that is. So. And then I gave you a comparison of all the budgets, kind of what they are, what we spent in 24-25, what they're estimated in 25-26, and what is being proposed in 26-27, just to kind of give you a rough estimate of the increases and decreases, and then of course the fund balances, all the fund balances that we are proposing. Like I said earlier with the emergency funds, I kept 150 into general and then 150 going into the to that fund. So if you want to change it, then we'll have to do that. But that's where it is currently. Emergency medical services. Part of it too, it's a new fund, so it takes a little bit to get the reserves built up. It's gonna take some time, so. Right now in the general basic, we had $750,000 budgeted, for the shortage of the jail. I didn't know if we would use that full 750 this fiscal year, but I think we might if I have any more of these pay apps like this. We might. Because that, what?
800 budgeted for next year.
800 budgeted for next year. I thought maybe I should decrease that a little bit to re-estimate it and then increase it for next year, but I don't know if I want to do that. I think we're going to go through that money. And they really want us to use the bond money up first before we touch general basics money, so that's what I'm going to do. I mean, the fund balances look great. I don't, the general supplemental will be the only thing that we could possibly change. If you wanted to reduce it and then increase more.
Doing maybe a larger transfer and lowering the general supplemental a bit.
That's really the only levy that can be changed at this point, yeah.
And that's driven by if they move on an ending fund balance, what does the time frame they give us look like?
Mm-hmm.
Will they steal it? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Any county with over 10% gives up 5% of that. Who knows what they might say?
We ask them, if there's an emergency comes through, are they gonna flip the tab for it?
Yeah, or the unfunded state mandates, we have no idea what that's gonna cost the county. That's just not even, having an ending fund balance of 10%, and most of our bills are due in July, our major, insurance, solutions. I mean, how do you even pay your bills until you start collecting taxes at a 10% with all the bills that you are due July 1st? That's not even a reasonable amount, in my opinion, but what do I know?
And they may throw supplementals in with the other
They might.
growth limitations.
Yeah, they might.
It's just,
I have no
it's
idea.
hard to say what is the best
What
approach.
is the
But
reason, just to drive taxes down?
I think so.
Just to make themselves look good.
That's our
make
main
it look-
complaint.
Make it look to the voters that they're doing what they
Yeah.
can. They're not addressing.
Or getting one step closer to consolidating counties. Some of those can't be sustainable,
No, you're right, yeah.
The ones that, last year, the year before, when I was in Des Moines, there was a guy, trying to remember the county, but he was crying, and then he says, we're broke.
Yeah.
Any more questions or comments on?
So did you want me to change the transfers and drop general supplemental, or?
I'd leave it the way it is.
Because we'll have to make a decision by next meeting for sure, because, we can lower it, we just can't increase after we set our public hearing, because we have to have it,
Yeah,
everything has to be to the state by March 5th, so that's why I have it down for the next meeting to set our time and date, so we just can't increase it after that, once it's published.
For me, Do we need it to do anything today then, or do we got next week?
Yeah, we can have the 24th. I just need to know by then if you want to drop the general basic and increase the transfer or what you want to do. But
You know, my thoughts, I leave it, so.
Any other comments?
That supplemental levy rate was jumping by
15 cents.
15
It was $1.05, now up to $1.20. But the overall, since we had to reduce general basic levy, we're only going up like 7 cents per thousand overall, countywide. I wish the jail project was done. I would feel better knowing where we're
not
at.
necessarily really specific to this, but I'm wondering if we don't want to give consideration. And then I've mentioned it to Corey. I don't know what would come of it, but looking at trying to do a sharing agreement. I know Lyon County is losing their EMA director. We haven't had applicants lately for an EMS director, have we? With the state pushing for consolidation of services. I don't know that. Not my favorite approach, but it might be what needs to be considered, especially in light of
To do
that.
both, you'd almost need a full-time, to do both counties, you would.
I'm saying we're sharing with
Somebody
other
could
counties,
do, yeah.
or Corey would share his with Lyon County, and then that would affect the EMS budget to some extent if we were to move in that direction, but I don't know if we can be sure enough of that to alter the budget to do that, but even if we pass the budget, I think we should seriously consider those two.
Really, the only thing I think be health insurance, because he would be eligible then for health insurance. We have to have a 28E, and then, I don't know if we, depending on that, we would still pay our part, and then Lyon County would pay his part, and then the insurance to make it full-time, but that would be the only thing that I can think of
I
right
don't know that I'm
now.
necessarily saying we would be making it full-time.
Right, but between the two, it would be.
Someone would have to take that on, yeah.
All right. You wanna do anything today, or you wanna wait till next week?
I'm satisfied the way it is right now.
I'd still increase that transfer from basic to supplemental, but I'd need additional support for that.
Do you need a motion for that, Michelle?
I just need guidance.
Guidance?
What do you want me to do and how much? What you want me to reduce the general supplemental levy to, and how much you want me to increase the right now it's at 95,000.
Well, we know what Mike thinks, your thoughts, okay? I probably agree with Mike, let's just leave it. But, what do the rest of you guys think? Any other comments? Michelle, like to know each other.
I can do whatever. I mean, we have time the next time too. It's just,
Mm,
I'll just leave it as is until someone tells me differently,
Okay.
or have more
all right.
discussion, or someone tells me. Unless you want me to play with it a little bit, give us our options, or.
Need to do that, but
There was 3 of them over here to leave it, so.
Okay. If there's no more discussion, what do you guys wanna do? You wanna do the claims, or you wanna skip to the 10:15?
I didn't see a whole lot wrong with the claims.
All right, we're gonna do the claims quickly.
there's a claim for Bosma Water Service in there, number 1389.
I'll make the motion for that.
Got a motion. DeBoer, support from Warren. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain?
Abstain.
Motion carried.
I'll make a motion to pay the rest of the claims.
Motion by Schulte to pay the rest of the claims. Support from Loring. All those in favor? Say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Aye. Next one. Any motion to adjourn for next meeting? Motion. Motion from DeBoer, support by Loring to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, we are adjourned. Okay. You're not gonna stay?
You're welcome to stay.
I'll open the drainage district number 10 meeting. We consider the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion on the agenda.
Motion on the agenda.
Support it.
Schulte, support from DeBoer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Consider acceptance of field drainage petition. Oh, missed the meeting, the minutes. January 13th, 2026 minutes.
Motion.
Motion from Schulte to accept the minutes of January 13 minutes. Support from Loring. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now, consider acceptance of field drainage petition.
Are you okay if I call Spencer regarding this?
Yep.
Hello?
Spencer?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Rochelle.
Hey, Rochelle.
We're in session for DD 10, so they're about ready to review and accept the petition that was filed.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I'll just kind of share a little bit with the board. So obviously the board's aware that, we completed the drone survey of the ditches there, and then, prepared basically the summary of the different, characteristics of the ditch with areas that were sloughed and meandering and those types of things. And so what we had noticed initially just from that review, of those was that there's a lot of potential to do like alternative drainage repairs to those rather than just like a traditional, say, straightening and rip-wrapping the banks. And so we just initially had some conversations with some potential project partners, particularly with the Iowa DNR restoration section, just to see if they had any interest in, what a potential project might look like in that. And so we did just talk to them about it potentially, just to kind of see what their thoughts were, and they were definitely very interested in the potential of that. Don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but I guess from from our perspective, a few reasons that would be attractive is number one, they could provide funding for the project and assist with, identifying other funding paths for the project. And I think there's a lot of positive outcomes that come from that in terms of, there's a lot of public land along the ditch there that I think we could potentially couple with some of the improvements. I know there's water quality concerns, source water concerns along there with some of the wells and things. Some flood concerns downstream too. So there's a lot of, I guess from our perspective, there's a lot of potential there for a project that could have a lot of win-win benefits. And from the drainage perspective, could potentially address some of the issues that I understand that the landowners have been seeing here and stabilize some of this, and also do it at a minimal cost to the landowners, which I guess the alternative would be to pursue a more traditional approach, which the landowners would then have to pay for, and I imagine wouldn't be a lot of funding available. So I know I just kind of threw a lot at you there, but that's just kind of like the high level overview of what our initial thought was and the potential for the project, and wanted to share that with the board, and happy to discuss more.
Anybody got any comments or questions for Spencer?
Spencer, I have one question. This is Mike O'Connor. I have one question about that river restoration. Since it's like through the DNR, will we still be able to fulfill every obligation for the drainage district for tile outlets and all the aspects of a drainage district with the DNR involved like that?
Yeah, great question, Mike. That was something that I brought up with them, and they're very much aware of. Their perspective is it's 100% the board and the drainage district's decision on whether or not you want to work with them on something, and they completely understand the obligations of the board and the drainage district. And so I guess the short answer to your question is yes, Mike, we would, with anything we look at doing or any project, the priority would be to ensure that all the obligations of the drainage district are maintained. And I think the DNR is very much aware of that and understanding of that.
Anybody else got anything?
I guess maybe the only other thing I'll just add is I know we're looking at a pretty large length of ditch here in a large drainage district. And I think talking with the DNR, they generally agree that, there's potential to be a pretty big, if it was a project, it could be pretty large in scope. And I think what our initial thoughts were as a starting point was, if we could work with Mike and or the petitioning landowners and identify some of the, I guess for lack of a better word, pain points or some of the spots of some of the current worst issues that are troublesome. If we identified, some of those priority locations, we could collaborate with the DNR on those and just start there and say, okay, what are some potential solutions we could implement in these specific spots just to start and see if we can at least address some of the current issues first, and then if if that works and successful and there's interest, we could look at, growing the potential scope of doing other locations as well. But that would be, I guess, the starting place is just to look at these petition areas and see what, are the pain points for the landowners and start addressing those first anyway.
So what kind of means of straightening and stopping it from eroding, what kind of new means do they use then other than the riprap and just straightening of the river? What kind of things do they do?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a lot of different, I guess, for lack of a better word, techniques, and they really vary based on the characteristics of the, I'm going to say the word stream, but the ditch or the river at that location. There's like some stabilization that they can do with means other than riprap, and then there's what we call floodplain reconnection. I apologize, I don't have it for you today, but I know like the DNR and the river restoration techniques, they do have some visuals of some different techniques, I guess, for lack of a better word, and some like sort of drawings to show that. I think my initial thought would be if we identify some locations that are in need of repair, we would review those locations and then come up with some potential solutions in each location just to start, and then share what those might look like. So everyone was aware of what we were looking at maybe doing before we tried to proceed with anything.
So then, like, if this petition does pass, then we can, evaluate the whole District 10 and pick out the worst parts there. And even if, like, some of the landowners don't agree with what's going on, as long as the petition's passed, we can go in and fix those areas.
Yeah, that's a good question, Mike. I think the drainage district has the right to enter and repair its facility. I think the method of repair, if it's not intrusive or, obstructing anyone's drainage or on anyone's property, I think the drainage district has the leeway to do whatever is, in the best interest of the drainage district on each given property. I think if there's a technique that results in, maybe some work, outside of the extent of the current ditch, I think then the landowners we would 100% want to make sure the landowners of those properties are on board and in support of that as well. So I think the short answer, I guess, to your question, Mike, is I think anywhere we're doing any of this work, it would be great to get landowner involvement and get them on board with any of this before we did it. That would be a critical piece of it for sure. But ultimately, like, if it's such that the drainage district has, we identified that, hey, a repair needs to happen on this property, the drainage district would have a right to go in and repair there.
And I guess one other question I had, and I know how it goes, but this here would be towards Drainage District 10, the assessment. Everybody gets assessed who uses that, not just the person that owns property along the river, correct?
Yeah, I think that's one of the other challenges of this drainage district is you've got, I haven't, I guess, reviewed the existing assessment schedule, but my understanding from the shapefile of the district is that it appears anyway that the boundary of the district is somewhat limited to only lands along the river. And, I think like the drainage area, is over 100 square miles for some of these, and that includes a significant area up in Minnesota. Now those aren't lands that are currently being assessed, and I think annexation of those could be tricky. That would be a big question, I think, I guess, that we would have to consider. And I think any cost associated with these repairs, would be borne by all the landowners who are currently in the drainage district, which would include those, right along the ditch, and then any that are just off of it that are in the assessment schedule. But I think that maybe is just another reason why, my recommendation would be to pursue some potential alternatives that have some funding available, because I think assessment for any of these projects is going to be tricky just with how small the current assessment schedule is, and some potential challenges with trying to annex in, additional landowners.
Because I do think that is one thing that'll have to be clarified, because I had a lot of input about that there, what I just asked, so we'll have to know exactly how that's going to be paid for.
Yep.
Are you talking mainly just erosion control along the river, or are you talking tile repair, or both?
I think Mike could maybe speak to that better, but my understanding is there's a lot of erosion and sloughing issues right now, is my understanding.
So what District 10 is just the Ochine River, but then there are the tile outlets from the farms that have washed and fallen away. So that would be the extent of the tile repairs, would be the outlets of the tile. There are no tile in District 10, District 10 tile. It's just what they have outletted into the river and have washed away.
How far, can you tell me, how far from each side of the river does that district go? I mean, I know where you're coming from on the question on who's gonna pay for it, because if I got land draining in there, but don't really, I probably didn't cause the erosion, then why should I pay for it? I don't have land there, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, and that's what I have received from a few landowners.
Yeah, I've had a couple comments
Yes,
about that.
so, and that's what has to be figured out. So I can't say exactly, until we figure out how that works.
Spencer, do you have any idea what kind of a level maybe the DNR or somebody would come in and help pay for something like that? Have you had any other projects like this?
Yeah, no, I mean, to be completely honest, this would be we've done projects in other areas and in Minnesota where we've done sort of what I'm going to call natural stream techniques on drainage ditches, and they've been successful. There's not been a project like this done in Iowa. I'll tell you that the DNR team that we met with was very excited about the potential partnership here and doing this. And, you know, independently, the DNR themselves, how much funding they could provide. I don't know exactly what percentage of cost share they could provide, but I know they were, just in us meeting with them, they were kind of rattling off, like, here's some other potential partners that would be interested in funding. So I don't have, you know, any like specific percentage or anything I can tell you for sure right now, but I can tell you that there would definitely be interest in this. And I think there's, between the DNR and other partners, there's a potential to get a large portion of the sort of, I'm gonna say, natural stream stabilization type techniques paid for, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any comments, questions for Spencer or Mike maybe? Or?
Just,
Then we.
are there outlet agreements, or, I mean, for those lands further outlying to drain into the river, shouldn't there need to be outlet agreements or something to get access if there is a drainage district along
I
the
just
lines?
know, like, from district tile, you know, you don't have to ask to hook onto them. If it's in your property, you can just hook onto them, and we have no record of it.
If you're in the district.
Right.
But if you're saying you're the next land out and it gets there, unless it's surface drainage, then you wouldn't have.
It would, I don't know.
Jason, can I see your map? I lost mine like that. Or you took it, one of the two.
Possible recalculation of what property should be in the district.
Well, it's probably not classified now because, but it's possible they are using other facilities to outlet, or I don't know if there would be any tile through a land all the way to the river that really, in theory, shouldn't happen because it's a drainage district.
Spence, do you see
outlet,
this
but
expanding?
Seems to be very.
Like the District 6 and District 22 and,
Fields that would go out and around drain, it seems like it's just kind of.
did you hear me, Spencer?
Yeah, was the question about expanding them or?
Well, I
you
mean,
know, trying
District
to-
22 and District 6, I mean, if people see this going on, this is gonna explode, isn't it?
Can you elaborate on that a little? Like, do you mean in
I
terms
have-
of the interest?
I have had people in District 6, you know, interested in this, if this goes through.
Yeah.
And then, in the same token, I have had people say, just don't want to do anything with it, you know? So,
Yeah,
I have had people in District 6, you know, comment about this as well. It's not there, keep moving.
I could even see it
Yeah, I think-
above that.
Yeah.
I think if you look at District 6, 10, and 22 here, which are all, I mean, they're essentially, they're the Ocean River, you know, there is potential this could end up becoming a very, very large scale, one say river restoration type project, right? Because like there's, you know, as we've documented in the drone video, there's issues all throughout the length of it here. And I think the DNR is very much aware of like, that could be the potential of a very large scale project, and they're open and interested in that. So I think I'm answering your question hopefully in that, yeah, I think it could become a very, very large project long term, especially if there's interest with some of the landowners in trying to do something like this.
Okay, thank you. You guys want to consider the acceptance of the filed drainage petition? We would need a motion for that, wouldn't we, Spence?
Sorry?
We need a motion for that acceptance of the field drainage petition?
Yes, I think the board would need to take action on the petition, yes.
Well, we really don't have a choice, do we? I mean,
I'm just confused by the language of the petition saying repaired. Then to me, it's just addressing the areas and you're not taking the bigger scope.
I guess to clarify, I think there's I think we can definitely consider the bigger scope of the project. My initial recommendation was to start small with these initially petitioned areas and pain points and then understand what, you know, those specific landowners are looking for as kind of a starting point. I think the scope could evolve throughout the project, but that was since these are the petitioned areas, that would be is where I would recommend starting anyway. Does that make sense?
Well, yes, it does, because if you open this up to the whole, anybody draining that way, it'd be huge.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Motion from Lauren to accept the petition. Do I have a second?
So does that mean we're going to hire an engineer or identify an engineer, or Mike's handling this, or?
No, Mike's not. Whatever the steps, whatever the steps are. Well, we have to hire an engineer, don't we?
Yes, this takes it out of our hands.
That's your motion? Just keep moving forward and.
We almost have to, don't we? To file a petition.
I have a motion, please support. I would support that. Any more discussion?
I guess I'd just like to clearly know what the motion states, or what the scope is.
Well, how do we normally do a file petition? I've never been around one, Jason, that says we absolutely have to go here or there.
When we did 64, 65, it was, it clarified straightening and doing work to that, as well as the outlets, is how that was the latest one we've done.
Well, it states repair, I guess. Well, I have a motion and support. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll abstain.
I'm gonna abstain too.
Can I ask why?
I guess I'd like more specificity. Our prior action said that withhold repair on Drainage District 10 until discussion is held with landowner requesting the repair to determine their interest in limiting action to a repair, or if consideration of a larger approach would be of interest. So I don't know that accepting the petition that says repair addresses that prior.
That's what this petition says, repair.
And that's why I'm just, not enough clarity for me.
Well, 3-2, the motion carried.
It'd be 3-0.
3-0. And then discuss potential repair approaches, but we already discussed that. You got anything else, Spencer?
No, I do not. I guess I'll let the board close out at DD10, but I know you have the JD3 meeting. From my perspective, I don't need to stay on for anything on that unless the board would like me to.
What are you guys' thoughts? Okay.
I don't think it would hurt to, but stay on.
Okay, I can stay on. Yeah, I'll stay on. Go ahead.
Okay, I need to adjourn from District 10.
Make a motion, support.
I have a motion from Lauren, support from Sophie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. I'll open joint drainage district number 3. Need to approve the February 10, 2026 agenda. Anything else on this agenda?
Motion for approval.
A motion from Vanderhook,
Support.
support from DeBoer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. January 27, 2026 minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion from Schulte. Support from Lauren. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Consider approval of notice to contractor for branch 152 and 15278 tile improvement project. Anybody got anything on that? You got anything on that, Spencer?
No, just that I think this was what, we had discussed with Brian Young last week. Brian Young prepared this notice. I did review it as well. And so I think, Brian and I both recommend this as the next step for the board would be to approve, this notice.
Anybody got any questions, comments?
Make a motion to send this notice to default.
I have a motion from Schulte to go ahead and send this notice to the contractor.
Support the motion.
Support from Randy. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Don't have anything else, do you, Spence?
No, just that I think if Barb is there, Barb, I'd recommend talking with Brian Young on how to deliver that notice. I imagine he's gonna want something mailed, as well as maybe email, but Brian can give you direction on that.
Okay.
Will do.
All right, thank you, Spencer.
Yep, thank you.
I need a motion to adjourn. Motion. Motion from the board. Support from Lauren. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.
My comment